going to be the ace of the pitching staff in 2026 for OU softball? Or I guess better yet, will there be an ace for the Sooners in 2026? Well, there's 8 different pitchers to choose from, as Patty Gasso and Jen Rocha will have a great blend of experience through the portal, experience returning from last season, and talented true freshmen who are ready to contribute right away. Now that the roster is set for next season, let's do an early breakdown of what the pitching staff could look like and who the main arms will be. Who do you think will be the ace next season? Drop your answer in the comments, and if you haven't already, be sure to check out my early guess as to what OU's defensive lineup and batting order will look like next season. And please like and subscribe to the channel for more OU softball content if you haven't already. Let's quickly bring up all 8 names in the mix, starting with the players returning. Audrey Lowry is back after a freshman season that saw her sidelined by injury for a portion of the season, but also a year where she finished incredibly strong in a relief role. Kierston is back for her 4th year with the program and had an up-and-down season last year, but did have some high-level moments in games against Tennessee and Texas in SEC play. Paytn Monticelli is back for her 3rd season and has been primarily a reliever in her time at Oklahoma. Sophia Bordi will be back for her 2nd year with the program, though she didn't pitch for OU in 2025 and did leave the team before the end of the season. My guess is she'll be back for the fall season. How about the freshmen? Well, there's 2, and they're both extremely talented. Allyssa Parker was ranked as the #1 pitcher in the 2025 class by Softball America. She's also an Oklahoma kid from Pensacola, and she'll get a chance to hit at OU as well. But I think in year 1, her biggest impact will be felt in the circle. Berkley Zache is the other freshman pitcher incoming this year with a class that's one of the highest rated we've ever seen in the sport. Berkley was rated as the #13 overall player in the 2025 class by Softball America, and she joins her sister Riley on campus at OU. The portal player, Sydney Berzon, was the #1 player in the portal out of LSU. She has 1 year of eligibility remaining and comes to OU as a 2-time All-American. Miley Wachenyo was a top 10 overall player in the portal from Ole Miss, who led the Rebels in innings pitched last season. She has 3 years of eligibility remaining and was a 2nd-team freshman All-American last year, had some big wins along the way in SEC play as well. So that's the group, 8 pitchers in total compared to the 6 OU had last season. Let's break down each a little further and discuss what each player's role could be in 2026. Plus, do we feel better about the overall depth than we did last season? We'll discuss that as well. Let's start with what I think the starting rotation will look like, and let's begin with the ace of the staff. To me, there are 4 pitchers, 4 of the 8 that right now I'm considering as the frontline starter for this team. Those 4 names are Sydney Berzon, Miley Wachenyo, Audrey Lowry, and Allyssa Parker in no particular order. I think all 4 of those names will start games in the circle next season. But if this team has a true ace in 2026, I think the front runner is Sydney Berzon, the transfer from LSU. I think she was brought in with the idea that she will push to replace what Sam Landry was last year for OU. Not Berzon's best season last year at LSU, but it was still good enough to be named to the All-SEC 2nd team. Now, she did battle injuries last season, and let's also remember how great Jen Rocha has been with 1-year portal players. Sam Landry comes to mind. Kelly Maxwell comes to mind. Alex Storako comes to mind. Rocha has been great. She's been elite at fine-tuning pitchers that are already really, really good. I've got confidence. I actually have a lot of confidence that a healthy Sydney Berzon will have her best year yet in college softball. And if that's right, she'll be the ace and one of the best pitchers in the SEC, which OU might need to win the SEC again and to win another national championship. I feel confident Berzon has that top spot, but I really feel like it's up in the air for who the next starters of the rotation will be. Not that I have doubt in those pitchers. That's not the case at all. Exactly the opposite. I just think those roles are up in the air as we slowly but surely get closer to the fall season. But if this is bold, I'm going to ride with it. I really, really like Audrey Lowry, and I believe she has incredible upside. I'm saying Audrey Lowry is your number 2 starter next year. I really wish she didn't have the injury that sidelined her for a portion of the season last year. It was a setback, but still really like how she performed down the stretch, even though it was mostly in relief. And hey, I even wish she would have gotten more opportunities in the postseason. But a healthy Lowry will be a very, very good one in 2026. She will get those opportunities this year. I believe that. And I also believe that I think that she's ready to be that big-time player for OU in the circle. I like her stuff, and I think with a year under her belt, she's ready to bounce back in a big way and be a huge part of this rotation. Maybe this isn't the popular pick. Maybe it is. But I'm riding with Audrey Lowry having an incredible 2026, being the number 2 pitcher for this team, and I'm sitting here today feeling very confident in that. So I'm conducting this breakdown on the thought that OU will have 3 weekend starters this year. Now, that's not exactly how it worked out last year. You saw Sam Landry start 2 games in some SEC series, but the 3rd spot, yeah, that's difficult too, because I really like both Wachenio and Allyssa Parker. I can see both players in this spot. I really can. I think Parker is going to be a special player for the program in the circle. Truly, a special player. And not just in the circle, I think she has a chance to be special with her bat as well. To me, Allyssa Parker is not a redshirt candidate. I think that she plays her true freshman year. But here's a thought that when I consider the rotation next year, here's a thought that I just can't get past. Miley Wachenio had great opportunities elsewhere in the transfer portal. South Carolina, UCLA, and a lot of others as well. And she would have had huge roles for those teams. Now, I don't think that Patty Gasso and Jen Rocha promise playing time or starting spots. I don't think or believe that's how it works at Oklahoma. But I do think that they're honest and upfront with each player's outlook and what their situation could be. I don't think Miley Wachenio is showing up to OU unless she really believes she's going to be a big factor and pitch a lot of innings. Look, nothing is given. She'll have to earn it, but she's also really, really good. And with all of the other great opportunities that she has, I think that she's showing up to OU with the belief she's going to be a major part of this rotation next year and a key piece for OU at pitcher. Now, she was also really good in relief last year at Ole Miss, and I won't be shocked at all if she has big moments as a reliever next year. But I think the SEC experience she brings and the development she'll get with Jen Rocha, I think Miley Wachenio is the number 3 starter next season. That leaves Allyssa Parker of the 4 I mentioned, and let me just say this. Nothing, and I mean this, nothing Allyssa Parker will do in 2026 will surprise me. I think that she could absolutely be a star in year 1. Number 1 pitcher in her class for a reason. So me not having her in any of those 1 to 3 spots has nothing to do with her. And honestly, everything about the other pitchers around her and how good I feel overall about the pitchers that OU has next season. OU clearly didn't want to have the same issue it had last season, having just Landry and not being able to consistently rely on anyone else. And now you look up and say, there's at least 4 pitchers that I feel really good about for this team. Allyssa Parker is absolutely one of those names. But what's her future as a true freshman? Well, I think it could be someone that honestly does it all. I think that she will start games in the circle, even in SEC play. I think that she could start midweek games. I think she could come in relief. I think she can close games in tight games in the 7th inning. Almost like the way that we view a utility player as a position player, Allyssa Parker might be that as a pitcher. Or, and here's a thought for you, I could be totally wrong. And she's the ace of this team as a true freshman. Again, nothing she does will surprise me next season. Regardless, though, I believe she's going to pitch, and I believe she's going to pitch a lot, and I can't wait to see what she does in the beginning of fall ball. The 4 remaining names of the pitching staff: Paytn, Monticelli, Kierston, Sophia, Bordi, and Berkley, Zache. For Monticelli, she's been a reliever, and I think that's what she'll be again this season. She had the least amount of innings pitched among the 5 OU pitchers that played last season with 21 1/3 innings. The question for me with Paytn Monticelli is, will she pitch as many innings as she did last year? I think that's up in the air for her right now, and she really, really needs a strong fall season to put her in position to do so. Because here's the deal. There's so many other talented pitchers around her, and I don't think it's necessarily a given that she sees her role increase this upcoming season. Kierston Deal, you probably noticed I didn't include her in the list of contenders for the ace. Maybe I should have. She did get more opportunities in the postseason over an Audrey Lowry, who I did mention. I just think the talent coming in with recruiting and in the portal as well may have surpassed KD. Like, we've seen Kierston Deal be outstanding, but it's got to be more consistent. Is it more mentally than anything? Maybe. Like, she has good enough stuff to be a very good pitcher in the SEC, but her role in the upcoming year, like, this is the toughest one for me to predict. She really, really needs a good fall. Like Paytn Monticelli, it's not a guarantee that she sees her number of innings increase from last year. In fact, I'd probably guess that she won't get to the 77 innings that she pitched last year. She does have experience, and we got to remember, Patty Gasso really likes to lean on that in some spots. But I think KD will mostly be a reliever this upcoming season with the possibility of getting a spot starts every now and then throughout the year. The final two pitchers haven't pitched an inning at Oklahoma, and I'm not 100% sure what their availability currently is. Sophia Bordi showed up to OU early and needed to rehab an injury and then went back home before the end of the season. Again, I think that she's back. She will be on the team next year. And I hope that she's back, and I really hope that whatever she's been dealing with or continues to deal with, I hope that she overcomes that. But I do feel confident that she's back. And there was even a recent social media post of Sophia Bordi merchandise with OU colors on it. Okay, that makes me feel even better. But with that, I just don't know where she's at health-wise. Is she 100%? Is she not? Like, I don't know the answer to that. And it has been a while now since she's pitched in a game. Still believe, and I want to make this point clear, still believe she can be a great pitcher at OU. Highly, highly talented. But for now, I'll predict Sophia Bordi in 2026 as a reliever, not knowing exactly what her arm situation is. But I'm glad to see, like so many of you rooting for her in the comments, that seemingly she will be back at Oklahoma this upcoming year. Finally, Berkley, Zache, an incoming freshman and another player with incredible upside in this program, but also someone I don't know how to project because of a back injury she suffered while pitching. She was mid-pitch on turf, fell, and then realized that soon after something just wasn't right. Didn't pitch her senior year of high school, and that's a serious injury for a pitcher, and I don't know what her current timetable looks like with this injury. Now, like Sophia Bordi, the upside is incredible, it's undeniable, and if they're healthy, can really, really push for a lot of innings this year. But for now, like Bordi, I'll say Zache will be a reliever, and if she's not 100%, maybe even a redshirt year for the true freshman. Overall feel, well, how do I overall just kind of feel about OU's pitchers the way that it looks right now? Well, you guys have opinions too, of course, drop those in the comments. Overall, I feel really good about OU's pitchers. Now, one of the biggest questions for this team is in the circle, and I'll get to that shortly. But overall, I feel very strongly this group will be better than it was a year ago. And I think that's one thing you have to accomplish. Your pitching staff needs to be better than it was a year ago. Now, nothing is a given, not in this sport, but I would be very surprised if this staff as a whole is not better than what it was last year. And honestly, I expect it to be significantly better than it was in the 2025 season. But do they have a big-time ace in the circle? Do they have someone that will be one of the best pitchers in the SEC like they had last year with Sam Landry? I think you need that. And though there's options to this question, it's fair to say that needs to be answered. So collectively as a group, I think OU will be better, and I also think that allows your best to be more fresh in the postseason. But do they have someone that's one of the best in the country? Yet to be determined, but I think you have more than one arm that could be capable of that in 2026. Innings breakdown. Here's my breakdown of who I think will get the most innings next year in order. At number 1, I think Sydney Berzon will get the most innings for OU next year. I think she's the ace and ready to help carry this team in the circle. Will have the most starts, and like I said, will have the most innings as well. The second most innings will go to Audrey Lowry. All in on Audrey. All in. Chips to the middle of the table. I think she could be even your number 1 pitcher this year. Regardless, a very strong arm that does a lot of damage in the circle. At number 3, Miley Wachenio will start games. I think she'll start a good amount of games. Maybe even a lot this year. We'll see. Could also see her out of the bullpen as well, a decent amount. Very versatile. She's your number 3 in terms of innings pitched. Number 4, I think Allyssa Parker is going to make an immediate impact. Sky is the limit for her. Truly believe that. Could be a star from day 1, and just think her biggest impact in year 1 will be felt in the circle. At number 5, Kierston Deal. Patty still put her in big spots last season, including in Oklahoma City, but KD needs a really good fall to fend off all these newcomers. Interested to see where she fits into the pitching mix this year. At number 6, Paytn Monticelli. She's going to be a reliever. How much will she improve this offseason? She's in a fight right now for even a reliever spot and needs to have a great fall season. At number 7, Sophia Bordi. If I knew she was 100% healthy, I'd have her maybe at least a spot higher. Think she'll get opportunities this season. Really excited to see what she does as well. And at number 8, Berkley Zache. This has nothing to do with ability. Nothing to do with ability. Just everything to do with health. I don't know where she's at with her injury or if she'll be available. If she's a full go, I'd have her higher, but for now, she comes in at number 8. So that's my take. What do you guys have? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and as always, thank you for watching.